Masechta Shavous Daf Lamed Ches Amud Beis. We're starting from the fifth line in the Mishnah. Mana Libi Yatcha. Mana Libi Yatcha. If one who says to his friend, "I have $100 of mine in your hands," I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I have. I owe you the money." He says, the next day, Ulamachan. The next day he comes, he tells him, "Naili, give me my money. You said you owe me." So and this says, "Look, I already paid you in between yesterday and today. I gave you the money." Potter. He's potter to pay because he's a kefah hakal, and even though yesterday he admitted that he owes the money, he's believed to say that he paid in between yesterday and today. But if he would have said, "I have nothing," he denied the whole story in Gansin, then Chayiv is going to be Chayiv. This is what Rabbi is saying. Okay.
No, this is the
Yeah?
What do you say?
Now, Mana Libi Yatcha, the seventh line, like Mana Libi Yatcha, no shvur. He's a kefah hakal. Yeah, he said, "I have $100 of mine in your hands." He says to him, "Yeah, I have." But he tells him, no, he's made it the whole thing. But he tells him, when you come to pay me back, do it only in front of witnesses. Don't give it back without witnesses. The next day he comes to him, he says, "You said you have the money, give it to me." He says, "I gave it to you already." He said, "Nah, Chayiv. He's going to have to pay the whole money." The condition was it has to be in front of Eidim. We learned in the beginning of the.
He said that. He didn't say in front of Eidim. He said that he's going to live with them.
No, he told him in Bezdin that, or wherever it was in front of Eidim, that you have to pay back in front of Eidim. One who says to his friend, litra is a certain weight of zav, yesh li biyadcha. I have a certain weight of gold in your hand. He says, "No, I have the weight of silver." But he's potter because it's not the same. The taina was kesef, and he's telling him it was zav. The taina was zav, and he's telling him kesef. Yeah. How about dino zav? Yesh li biyadcha. Now you're talking about a coin. So when you talk about coins, so it's the coin is the main thing, not the gold or the silver. So he says dina zav yesh li biyadcha. And he answers, or he says, "Utrace a smaller coin, or punias, even a smaller coin, or pruta, even a smaller coin. Hakolim in my bayach is all coins. So it's considered as a meidu and mixes, and it's going to be chayiv shvua, because the main thing is the coin." One who says, "I have 30 sav tvu in your hand." He says, he says, "No, you only have 15 sav of legumes." But beans, like potter, he's potter because it's not the same. It's not the same min that he's being made to. Same idea. He says, "I have 30 saw paydays in your hand," and he answers, "I have only 15 saw of kidneys, half." Chayiv, he's chayiv because kidney is legumes are included in paydays, so it's the same. He's being made to the same min. If he tiny that you owe me chitin, and he's made I owe you pseudin. Potter, he's going to be potter. Rabbi Gamliel says he's going to be because it's still a made of a mixus. I don't care if it's for minat or not. This is similar. You remember Mr. Lambert, his English teacher in Ocean Parkway. So in our years he couldn't hear well, so he used to ask him, "Can we open the window? It's hot." He says, "Yeah, you can go to the bathroom." So, has to be minat. Somebody was telling his chava a jug with oil, filled with oil. He says, "Yeah, I have the jug, no oil, but I have the jug." So, since the taina was a jug and oil, and he was made to the jug, so he's made the minat taina. Say, "No, it's not minat taina. The main thing is the oil, and you're not being made of the oil." I look at the he's right because he said a jug filled with oil. You're right. The main thing is oil, but part of the taina was the jug, so he was made on the jug. So it's made of minat taina. Same thing. Tanu kelim with kakois. If you taina kelim and kakois, I heard about kelim. And the nitza is made of the kelim with kaf b'kakois, or the reverse b'kakois. He was made that I owe you kakois, but the kafir bekalim. He says I don't owe you kalim. Potter. He's potter from Meshwal because the klal hoyde be mixes kakois is potter. Somebody who's made of a mixes the kakois is potter. Because ain't nishbayim hakriyas shivas kakois. You're not nishbayim not on nahida or kfira. If kakois is mixed in, if that's the focal point that you're made or you're being kaifa, there's no shvua. Because ain't nishbayim al kakois. Because kakois you can't steal it. We had a whole about it before. Only metal. But what's if he was made of a mixas akelim? He's made of a mixas akelim, not in the kakois. Oh, so if the Haidah and the Kfir is in the Kalim, it's given Kaka Echad, but the Kfir is given in the Kalim, and the Haidah is given in the Kalim. So if the Kfir and the Haidah were in the Kalim, Chayiv is Chayiv HaShvua. And not only that, he's going to be Chayiv for the Karka also. Why? Because the Kalim, which are considered as Metaltlin, Shein Lam Achrayis means Metaltlin, Zoikikim could schlep to Gilgul Shvua as an Achoshim Sheis Lam Achais L'Shava Aleim. To slept in the cock that you should swear on the cock also. Ain't this way in Tainas Chedesh, Sheit the cotton. That if the Chedesh or Sheit the cotton had a Taina, so the normal guy doesn't have to swear based on the Taina of the Chedesh Sheit the cotton. And then the reverse, if a normal person came and he has Tainas against the cotton, you can't make the cotton swear. Avol mishbayim the cotton, but if a cotton came with a taina, you do make the normal person swear. The other guy swear. Ulahegdish. So Rashi says, l'chidetz hastira. You just said ein mishbayim by a cotton also. Even if a cotton comes with a taina, we don't make the normal guy swear. And here it says avol, and then the 2 words later it says avol mishbayim the cotton. If a cotton comes with a taina, we'll do. So the Gemara was going to answer later on. In fact, the Gemara hichim hashbein and lei. It says that Bezdin, the Shvur Sadayon, they make the one that's chayiv swear shvur sadayonim. How is it done? They make him swear in the shvur that says in the Torah the chsiv. It says that Avram told Eliezer, "Listen, I want you to find a woman for my a wife for my son Yitzchak, not from the Bnei Saknanim." And he told him, he made him swear. Und hat gesagt, halt on to my bris, Abraham said, and swear by the Chetze Shal Mitzvah. Okay, I'm like Rabbeinu Ravashi. Rabbeinu said to Ravashi, come on, whom is the Shita like Rav? It says, I'm Rabbi Yehuda Rav. Who does he follow? Rabbi Chanina Rabbi Yehuda, Dama Be'inan Shem HaMiyuchad. Rabbi Chanina Rabbi said, in the last payday, by Yeshua, you can't have any nicknames. It has to be the Shem HaMiyuchad, Yud Kei Vav Kei. Amalei, so Ravashi says, Lav Dafke, that's not what he was saying. Afilu Temer Abanah on the Ami Bekina. Really, he could even say the nicknames. Mishu Rachum. He says he swears by somebody who's a Rachum, by somebody the Eibishter Chanun. You can use nicknames for to make the Shvur to be Chal. But Nafke Mina, the only difference is that Tzarech Pusik Chatzabidei. He says he's coming to teach you from that story, from that shur, that by a shur you have to hold on to a chayfet shal mitzvah. Ukid Rabba, like Rabba. Then it was only Mila, but that was the only mitzvah then. Ukid Rabba. Yeah, you don't have to chap by the Mila. Okay, Ukid Rabba. Yeah. Ukid Rabba. Yeah, he chap Mila said that ganze Leben. Okay, he could have sworn so many times. Okay, the Rava, like Rava says, the Pirush of Ravashi is the Abba Rava Haida Yonah da Ashba Bahashem Elokei Hashemayim. This Dayan that swears by Hashem Elokei Hashemayim, and he didn't hold on to a Chetze Shal Kedusha, Chetze Shal Mitzvah, Nasa Kimishato B'Dvar Mishnah. It's as if he made a mistake in a Dvar Mishnah. What's the difference? If a Dayan makes a mistake in a Svara, in Shikol Adas, if he made that mistake, he has to pay the money back through whoever made the wrong psak. The Dayan himself. But if he was Toya B'Dvar Mishnah, he doesn't have to pay money. The whole din Toya has to be done all over again. Has to be repeated. It's like you said, I never made a mistake. I once thought I made a mistake, but I was wrong. He's saying over here, it doesn't matter what he thinks. It's a mistake. You got to do it over. V'chayzer. V'chayzer adin, because this is a mistake in that Vamishna. The Vamishna you do over the whole entire. This dayan that made a person swear by a tefillin, nasa kemisha tabet Vamishna v'chayzer. The Papa holds has to be a Sefer Torah. And if he doesn't know a Sefer Torah, if he did tefillin, he wasn't Yaitza. And it's like he was Torah Vamishna.
Every person has to have a Sefer Torah available.
Wait. I'll soon tell you what today is. The halach is like Rava, that you don't need a Sefer Torah. Even any Chavtza Shamitza is good for a Shvuah. The last Hilchasei Kivasei, the Papa who says you need dafke to hold on to a Sefer Torah. Hilchasei Kivasei, the Rava, the Haloinaket Chavtza B'dei, he wasn't holding a Chayfetz Kodesh at all. If he wasn't holding a Chavtza Shal Kedusha, then the halacha is that he's Torah B'dvar Mishnah and the whole din Torah has to be done over. The last Hilchasei Kivasei, the Papa, the Haloinaket Chavtza B'yadei. Because somebody who swears by tefillin, he doesn't. It's not Torah. The halach is not like him. That has to be dafke no Sefer Torah. Today's days, Rashi says, no way. Today we don't swear. We do a klola.
You go to court.
They go in front of 10 people, just like the shua was done in front of 10 people. Instead of doing a shua, they would curse him, say, if you're not saying the truth, you should be cursed. Why not a shvua? Because a shvua not only harms the person, it harms the family, it harms the whole world. It's a zash punishment.
If you don't keep the shvua.
If the shvua is a false one, it's a terrible thing. So that's why the Rashi said. He says, "Hein v'dereseinu." Rashi kisha v'dereseinu hina garishonim shelo yashbiyu bezdin lebaldin shvua satira. No way, it shouldn't be done that way. Here it's on the next page. Shvua me'umet. A shvua is done standing. Talmud Chacham Yushin. A Talmud Chacham, he can do it sitting. I'll cover Talmud Chacham.
Is tefillin the same thing, Rabbi?
Tefillin the same thing, yeah. But he said Chatchila Sefer Torah. Shvua is Sefer Torah. Somebody who swears while he's holding a Sefer Torah. Talmud Chacham the Chatchila b'tefillin. The Chatchila by a regular person should be a Sefer Torah if there's a shvua. Talmud Chacham even the Chatchila is tefillin is enough. But he brings down that today we don't. Again, I told you, Rashi says, but they were saying the Heinz Schreitmanis. Now we're going to see how severe it is. Shvus Hadayonim Afhi B'Lashein Nemro. The Shvus Hadayonim was also said in any language. You could say the Shvua in the language you understand. It doesn't have to be in Lashon HaKodesh. It could be in English. But you should understand it.
The one that's swearing?
Mm-hmm.
What about the person that's listening?
Also, he understands it.
Both speak Spanish,
Yeah,
they both speak
I'm sure if they
Chinese.
did deals together, so it's the same landscape. Even Loi, we say to him, "Heavy your day, Shekola Ilam Kulei." We tell this guy who's swearing, listen, the whole world that's yishakol, the whole world trembled at the time when the Eibushter said, "Don't use my name in vain." By all the Avedas in the Torah, if somebody commits an Aveda, there's a way of getting out of it. You do tshuva, you're out. You're clean. Kan nama lo yenake. This is by the Shvutz and the Shalfen. Lo yoida, Avedas Shabbatera nefroim yamenu. Avedas Shabbatera, Hashem exacts punishment of the person who sinned, but not from the Mishpacha. Mimenu, but somebody who swears falsely, Mimenu umi mishpachta. The Eibushter takes exacts punishment, gives punishment to the chayta and the mishpacha. It's like it says in the pasuk Al Titna Espicha. Don't say a shvur sheker. Lachti es b'sarcha, to cause that Hashem should punish with for your sin. B'sarcha. Vein b'sari ala kreve. B'sari means your relatives. Like it says, v'negeya to that you have to be goyim chesed for your karev. It's somebody in your family. You have to do chesed with him. Don't hide from helping the family. They can and he, the kol avedis Shabbatin in the front memenu. All the avedis of the Torah, Hashem exacts punishment only from the chayt himself. Can memenu mi kol ha'olam kulei. Not only from the mishpacha, but for the gods of all, they punishes. Yeah. Shenema kol yisrael harim zebazeh. It says. Shenema like it says, Olay b'chachish. It says, Allah, they swore that they swore falsely. That's what will cause the whole world to be punished. In fact, if you read the rest of the pasuk, it says, So when would the whole world get punished? Only if he did also the other three. He'll kill somebody, he'll rob, and he'll do disgusting things. Neil says the Gemara, it shouldn't enter your mind only after he does all the Avedis. Because the Chsib, Allah, it says only because of the Shvur Sheker of the whole earth was destroyed. It says in the Pasuk, Allah V'kachish, Al Kain Teval, therefore the earth should be destroyed, and tragedy should fall upon all those that dwell in this world. By all the other Avedis, if somebody has a schus, like by a Seita, if she had schusim, her stomach wouldn't platz right away. It could go for 2 years of schusim and hold back. Or by regular Avedis, you have schusim, and in the meantime, you can do tshuva and you can get rid of it. Tailan light, maybe that pushes it off. 2-3 generations, he can live his whole life, nothing will happen. It'll happen 3 generations later. The Khan, but when it comes to Ashur Shaka, Nifraim and Menel Alpha immediately chap that klep right away. Hashem pays up the chayiv immediately. So that, like it says, it's a CEO. Hashem takes out that klala num Hashem tzvahis because Hashem, he's the host. We'll soon see what Beis Haganav means. And now he's going to explain each word of this pasuk. When it says Hashem takes out the klali, it means immediately. Not that after a generation or 2 or even less. Right away. What does it mean he comes to the house of Haganav? What does Haganav mean? He's a guy who says this guy owes me money and he's lying. And he wants to make him swear. So he makes that guy swear falsely. He makes him swear for nothing. So he says this person who caused him to swear that he shouldn't have to pay him the money. He doesn't own the money, but he tried his luck. He says, you know what? I'll do it in the way he has to swear. He won't swear. He'll pay me the money. That's it. I'll put him by the. We'll make him swear by Sefer Torah. He'll get all scary. Sure. So there was a story. There was a guy on the app where I just saw it. I think it's connected to today's Gemara. He says there was a guy dancing so much on Sefer Torah with the Sefer Torah. So they said, he must be a tzaddik. Not from Betten Brachas. And then at the end they asked him, why? How do you have such simcha? He says, this Torah made him so much money. They asked him, how? He says, every time I made a guy swear and they brought out the Sefer Torah, he wouldn't swear, he would pay me the money. Perfect. He said, that's the simcha. That's the bracha, as I mentioned. Anyway, he doesn't have money. And he doesn't really have money by him. And in Tainus, how you owe me money? It must be, it makes him swear. That's what it means. That again, if that's what it is. So based on this, Shvila Shaka. It says that the Hebrew destroys as Eitzov, as Havonov. What does it mean that Hashem destroys the wood and the stone? Things that even a fire can destroy. Stone it doesn't destroy, but sheker, that's how zishtak. That's how severe is a shvur sheker. So if the guy comes into business and says, "Forget it, I'm not swearing. I'll pay." Right away, they take off the shvur. They say no shvur for you. They send him out. A business say, "Get your money together and pay him right now." They don't want he should stay in Bezdin and have a couple of speakers and go back. But what's if he says, I'm going to swear that I don't owe money. He's standing, he's going to swear. So those that are standing there, they say to each other the pasuk, just like by Kairach. They said, move away from the move away. The earth is going to swallow them.
Somebody's lying here, right?
Yes, somebody's lying, and it's so both. But the Gemara will ask why he called it Tevei and the Nitva Rasha. One of them is lying, not both. So the Gemara will explain. You should know when we're making a swear, it's not according to your shenanigans that you're going to have in mind that the shua might come out right. According to what we're telling you, that's how we want you to swear. Anu mashbi'in oischa allows das hamokin al das bezdin. You're going to go on the das.
That's a call.
That's a call. Okay, but not according to your shenanigans, like we had the story on the last daf. We're going to have it again later. Shekem matzidim b'Moshe Rabbeinu k'shehizbi'as he sold. When the Moshe Rabbeinu, when he made the Yidden swear, Ba'avis Mayu Hablahem De'u Shelo Yaldatchem Ani I'm not making you swear according to your understanding. That's Makval Daiti, only according to the Eibishter and according to my understanding. Never like it says, V'lo Yitchem L'Dvatchem, meaning that I'm making a bris with you and a shvua, and it's not going to be according to your mashava, only according to mine. In a brachadik way, the Rebbe once told Weinberg when he was collecting money, as he says, bracha, so the Rebbe says, nicht loy dein asagas. The Rebbe mentioned like the Rebbe's asagas. Okay, anyway, ki. It says, ki es hasher yeshna pay, beside those that are with us today, only Ella, we only have that Moshe was Kedis Sabris and the Shua with Oisam al Har Sinai. On those that were standing on Har Sinai. How do we know the future generations and the Gedim are included in this bond, this Shua, that you have to listen? Even those that are not with us today. Mainly Ella Mitzvah. We only know the mitzvahs of Shekibul Aleim Har Sinai. Those are the mitzvahs that we took upon ourselves. Mitzvahs hasidus lischadish, but the mitzvahs that in the future that the Chacham will be mesakin, like Yigoy Mikra Megillah, Menayin, that they're also included in the Shvuah. Talmud Lema, if you look in the Kimu v'Kiblu HaYehud Ma'aleim HaSamitzvah Shapurim, meaning Kimu Masha Kiblu Kva. They were Mekayim, the mitzvah of Megillah was a Mekayim given Matan Torah, Mimei Meisha, meaning it was already in the skabel in the shvur b'yimei Moshe that in the future mitzvahs that the chacham will be mesakin is part of the shvur. What does it mean that shvur sadayanim? Also, shvur sadayanim could be said in a lashon that everybody understands. You could say it in English. What's also? What do you mean also? These are things that you could say in any language that you understand. Pasha Saita. The Pasha Saita, we tell the woman, listen, the whole thing, the whole Pasha is in English, Vidu Maisa. And also by the Maisa, when he says the Vidu on the Maisa, it can be said in English, you should understand. Kriyishma. Say Kriyishma in any language. Utfila, it doesn't have to be out of a city, it can be the English, and you're fine. There you have the Russian, the English, and the language you understand. The Bichsa wasn't the same. Ushvus Haidus, Ushvus Hapikadim, all these shvus, they can, when they give the oath, they could say it in English. Now came out. Yomana said not only that, but Sheshvus Hadayanah, that Shvus Hadayanah, which is very severe, is also said in any language. The Tana said the Dayanim even like heavy Yadesh Kala Oilam Kulin is Nazir We say to the guy, listen, this shvur that you're making, you better be careful. Don't say it in vain, because the whole world the whole world trembled. My time. What's the reason that the whole world trembled? By shvur sheker, by saying Hashem's name in vain. If you're going to say because that was given on the Sinai, I said there wasn't only one. 10. What's his there? Why is this one better than the other 9? Only because shvur sheker is chomer. Is it more chomer than the other averis? These are the light averis. Asay v'loisasay. Chutz v'loisisay, except for saying Hashem's name in vain. That loisasay is chomer. Chamuris, but 1 minute. Is more chomer. Chamuris, which are the ones that are very chomer, that tshuva is not enough. It's only with yisurim also. Been nice to the tshuva. Zukrisus, Mrs. Bezdin. Loisisa Ima. So you have Loisisa Hashem is not the only one. You have the Chayve Krisis and Mrs. Bezdin. So why are you singling out? Oh, Shvur Sheker is where the whole world trembled. Why this over Chayve Mrs. Krisis Bezdin? Only like we're going to say the reason is that it says that Kol Averis Shabbatina Dama Behem Menaki. All the other Averis, if somebody commits, there's a way out by tshuva. Kan nema lo yinake. But over here it says that he's not going to be able to cleanse himself, meaning even with tshuva.
You can't clean himself.
You can't clean himself. Kol ha'avedus shebateilu le'nem b'hem lo yinake. In fact, by all the other avedus we don't find lo yinake. It says v'nake lo yinake. So, and the Gemara who that double lashon mebaylei look at Rabbi Lazar. This double lashon nake lo yinake we need like Rabbi Lazar. The Tanya that we learned in Rabbi Lazar Eima. I'ershe leima v'nake. You can say that Hashem is always giving a way out through tshuva. Because it says Hashem is not going to cleanse the person. Not every, and you have shaloyinak, and you can't say Hashem is not going to cleanse the person. Okay, so how do we coincide these two opposites, nake and loyinake? Says the Gemara, minake ulashavin. And somebody who does tshuva, yeah, he cleans off the sin without yisura. Eimanake l'shein shava. Eimanake is somebody who doesn't do tshuva. But when it comes to shua sheke, even with tshuva helplessness, it remains. So you want to call avedis shebetir in the frame menu, mishpachtei, mimenu. All the avedis from the Torah, Hashem exacts punishment from that, from the chait himself. Come mimenu mishpachtei. Well, here from him and the mishpacha. It says you want to call avedis shebetir mishpachtei loi. You're saying the Eibishter doesn't punish the mishpacha also? Like it says, "V'samte ani es punished by Yishahu mishpacha." It says by Melech, if the father bring the kid to the Melech, the Eibishter will take away his face from everything that he's doing, and he's going to take care of these people and the mishpacha. The Tanya, we learned in the Brayso, Rabbi Shimon imu chata, mishpacha ma chata. What did they sin? Why should they get punished? There's no such a family that they're tax collectors, but con artists. They take more money, and that the family shouldn't be part of the sin over there, because they should have. No, they didn't have to cheat, but they knew their father cheated, and the people were telling them they should have said something. Right, meaning because they're protecting their accomplices. Yeah, sheyesh balistim. Or these robbers, she'in kulalistim, that they're not, the family members are not robbers. Well, they didn't steal. Allah, because they're protecting their father. That in itself makes them an accomplice in the chayim. So Gemara that Gemara that it says Hashem exacts punishment from the mishpacha, but not the same punishment as the chayta. Hocha, but by shur sheka bedina diday, the same punishment that the chayt is getting, the mishpach is getting. Not a lighter punishment, they're getting the exact. By another Aveda. So the chayt, the chayt gets a punishment, but the mishpach a lighter. Rabbi Yoima, Kidetanya, like we learned in the Braisa, when they get to with somebody who's Hamabazar Lamoilach, it says, Rabbi Yoima, Rabbi says, Vichrati Oisei. What is he coming to tell us? It says in the passage, Samtani es panai. But Isha who mishpachta yoch, I would have thought kol mishpacha kula be karis. I would have thought the whole mishpacha gets karis. Now, blame you. Oisay, not the chayta alein be karis. The chayta himself gets karis. The loy kol mishpacha kula be karis. Not the whole family gets karis.
Get something else.
Get something else, something lighter. But it's not a lollipop. The chol ha'avedus shebeteira, and all the avedus shebeteira in the frame imenu. Hashem exacts punishment from the sinner. They come imenu mekol ha'ilum kula. But over here, by Shua Shaket, the Eibishter not only exacts punishment from the sinner, from the whole world. You're right. You're right. That's what we're saying. Let us say only till he does all the other three Avedas of Gezela, Niyuv, and what we brought down before, Ritzicha. So he says no. It says Befedish. Because the chsiv mipnei Allah, only because of the shua sheka lane of the earth was destroyed. By all the avedis, Hashem doesn't punish the whole world. That the person will stumble, meaning will be punished in the sin of his brother. That all the Yidden are connected. So. The Rebbe always says that you always have to get everybody, all the Yidden together. If somebody's sinning, it's your mitzvah not being done mishlemus. If you know another person is sitting, you have to get him in. So all Yisrael Arevim. So if you want to Hasam over there, the Pasuk is telling you Shekol Yisrael Nanash Ba'ad Nechaveyam is Sheyesh B'Yadei Limchis. He could be Meicha. Don't do the Aveda. He was able to do it.
And he didn't say
And he didn't say a word, so that's why he gets punished. But Mashen came when it comes to Shavuos Hadayonim, even if he's not the Yadei Limchis, he still gets punished. What's the difference between the Rishoim in his own mishpacha and the Rishoim of the rest of the world? Veim tzadikim the mishpacha, the tzadikim the Alma. In the punishments, what do they get? Says Gemara, who the chait himself b'shar avedas b'dinei, Rishoim the mishpacha b'din chomor, and the Rishoim of the mishpacha get a different punishment, but a chomedik punishment. Rishoim the Alma get even a lighter punishment. Bedin hakal and tzadikim dachal v'hacha. The tzaddikim of the mishpacha and out of the mishpacha get nothing. But Gabe Shvua, when it comes to Shvua Sheker, who Urishayim the mishpacha Kidinei have the same din. Not like we said before that the by other Avedas that the Chayta gets the harshest one and the Rosh of the mishpacha gets the next and the Rosh of the mishpacha gets lighter. Here he says no. The Rishonim of the Mishpacha by Shavuos Hadayonim, the same as the Chayta. Now, Rishonim the Alma go one step lower. B'din Chomer, in a Din Chomer, the Tzadikim Halcha B'din Hakal. Here the Tzadikim by Shavuos Hadayonim, they also get punished. B'din Hakal. But all other Avedas, Tzadikim get 0. But when it comes to Shavuos Sheker, they punished even the family, non-family. Yeah, that's how they compel. And he's not able to be meicha, and nevertheless he gets punished. Yes, that's how it is. Why it is that way? That's it. That's how severe it is. That's why we say people don't want to swear. Like but if he says I don't want to swear, we say okay, out. They send him out of Bezin. Just pay. Now if he says I want to swear, but if the guy says, I want to swear, then you have to say between each other, let's all move away from these guys. They're like Koirach, that you might get swallowed up. They're Rishoim. These two are Rishoim. In fact, it's understood. The one that is swearing, he's swearing falsely. Let's say he's the Rasha. But the one that's making him swear, if he's not the Rasha, why are you calling him a Rasha? You want to, when we buy like the Tanya, the shvua should be between both of you. The shvua, the Eish of the shvua is chal on shneim, because Rashi says he should have been careful to who he gives the money to, and if he knew that this guy is not. Okay, that's a everyone. God we trust and everyone else not. That's what it in the dollar.
Just take the loss and make him swear.
Okay, but he says, but if you're going to go after your money, you have to make sure it's an honest person. You have to hope you're not going to have to do it on a dishonest person. With a dishonest person, you're just as evil as he is.
Confession agreement, what they call it.
Confession, judgment. Confession and judgment. When it comes to when the Ayyana make him swear, they say to him, you should know, not on your according to your understanding, only according to Hashem and Moshe Rabbeinu or Das Bezdin. What do we have to say this for? Do you remember the story with the king of Rava? There was a Ganef. Reuben came to Shimon and he says, you owe me the money, $200,000. He says, you want I should swear that I don't owe you? He says, hold my cane. I want to hold the stick, and he swears, I don't have the money. And the money was in the cane. So the guy got angry. He knew he's lying. He took his cane and he broke it, and all the money fell out. But the Pel Mamish, what was he? He wanted to do a trick. He wanted to be up to shvua, make a shvua, and he's not lying. Because he said, hold my cane, the shvua. So that's what we meant, al das hamakin, and al das bezdin. Okay. So you want to hatayna shtei kesef. It must have been, yeah. Hatayna shtei kesef. So here, when it comes to maybe the mixas, there's three things. There is the taina itself, there's the kvida, and there's the hidah. The main thing is the kvida v'hidah. Now, kvida is either 2 mois the maida to be maida even a pruta, it has to be a minimum a pruta, but it doesn't have to be more than a pruta. Everybody agrees. But by the kvira, they're arguing if Rav says it has to be 2 ma'is. Shmuel says no, it can be even a pruta. So now the shaila will be, what was the taina? The taina has to be 2 ma'is kesef with a pruta, because the kvira has to be minimum in 2 ma'is. So if he's being made in a pruta and it's only 2 ma'is, the kvira is less than 2 ma'is. So it has to be 2 ma'is with a pruta. Shmuel says you don't need 2 ma'is with a pruta because it can be, the kvira can be even a pruta. Here starts one. Amar Rav, kvira satayna shtei kesef. It has to be b'shtei kesef. Shmuel Amar atayna atzman shtei kesef. I feel like kafel b'pruta. So according to Rashi says, according to Rav, the taina l'chatchila was shtei kesef in pruta. Zusammen. Amar Rabba. Rabba says, "Daikem masliski was Rav."
No, Rav said kefir is kind of shtei kesef. It doesn't have to be with a pruta.
No, Rav says shtei kesef. The kefir itself has to be shtei kesef, and the hidah is bepruta. So you're going to need shtei kesef with a pruta, because if it's shtei kesef, it's being made of pruta. So the kefir is less than 2 kesef. Says the Gemara, Amar Rabba, Daikem masliski was Rav. I can bring you a proof like Rav from a Mishnah. Ukray kavas lishma. But psukim we have like Shmuel. Arai to Shmuel. That the kfira has to be on 2 kesef. The ketanim, because in the Mishnah it says hatayna shtei kesef, v'hayidah shove pruta. V'ilo kfiras hatayna pruta like ketani. He doesn't mention anything about kfiras hatayna, which is the main component. You need the main part to make him swear. There has to be kfira and hayidah. And he
didn't say.
And he didn't say the kfira.
He said I only the pruta.
He said that's it. So where's the kfira? How much is the kfira? So therefore we have to say the Mishnah when it said that's taina shtei kesef, you mean kfiras hatayna was shtei kesef, and the hidah was a pruta, because it has to be talking about kfira and hidah to make the shua. So therefore he says the kfira in that Mishnah had to mean shtei kesef. Utnan nami, and another Mishnah we learned in another Mishnah hidah bipruta, the hidah is bipruta, v'ilo kfira bipruta like tani. It says there he enumerated 5 cases of shir of pruta, and one of the cases that he said was the shir of pruta is aidah. L'cheira, if kfira is also the shir of pruta, he should have said there's 6 shiurim of pruta, and he doesn't say kfira. It's obvious because you have aidah, and then he mentions all the other cases which are pruta. Chamish pruta here. When he said the Shir Pruta Pesach, it's Chamish Pruta saying, and amongst them is Haidah Pruta. He doesn't go through over here what they are. Okay, but if Kfira was also Pruta, it should have been 6. So from this that he doesn't say Kfira is Pruta, is that yeah? So Kfira has to be much more. It has to be Shnei Kesef. Okay, Ukroi Kavasa the Shmuel, but the Psukim is Arai to Shmuel, who says you only need 2 kesef, and the kfir can be bepruta. Where do we see that? The chsivkit in the Yishal Re'eu Kesef Kalim. It says a person will give his bread kesef or kalim. Lishman to watch. Ma ken shnayim av kesef shnayim. Ma kesef davar chashuv av kol davar chashuv. Everything has to be. V'komer achmana kiyuzeh. Then the pasuk says on the 2 kesef that he gave him, kiyuzeh means that he was a meid b'mixas. So what was he made to 2 kesef? So that shows you that the kivira can be less than 2 kesef, because the whole sachakel was 2 kesef. He was made a pruta. If he's made a pruta, so the kivira is now less than 2 kesef. So what is Rav going to say about kiyuzah? Rav says no, kiyuzah only ba'ilei haidabe mixes hatayna. The kiyuzah has come to tell you that only a made mixes hatayna is chayv to swear, not a koifa hakel. It says Ushmol, Ksiv, Hu, Uksiv Zeh. It says Hu to tell you the amount that we're talking about in the Taina was 2 kesef, and Zeh, the Hidah, was in the 2 kesef. That he covered the mixes with the mixes chayv, that if he was a kaifa mixes, the mixes in the 2 kesef, he's going to be chayv.
Only 1 kesef.
1 pruta, and it's less than 2, and I'm denying a kesef, but 3/4 of a kesef. So what is Rav going to say about the who and the zeh? He says, "Chad lo yidav b'mixas hatayna." One is to teach you, zeh is come to teach you, made the mixas hatayna yechai b'shua, not a keifa hakol. Chad lo yidav mean Hataina. And one, the who is telling you the only time you're going to be chayiv if it's only the min hataina. Says the Gemara, Shmuel Tainus, what are you talking about? Nevertheless, from the push the pshat of the pasuk, it says Kiyitin Isho Re'eyu Keser Ken Lishma is talking about 2 keser. The Chaser Lo Taina. When he's made a pruta, it's less than 2 keser. The push the pshat, he says in the pasuk. I'm right if you read the push the pshat. So it's a good kasha. So what are we going to answer? Where is
What? So you don't have to have 2 kesef in a fruit?
in the kvira? Right, you don't have to have 2 keser in the pruta. Because the push the pshat was there was 2 keser and he was made of a pruta. Says he, so since Shmuel Tainas, the Hetzma Shmais of the pasuk, shows you that the kvira can be less than 2 safim, right? So the Gemara explains it differently. How did Rav slug up the Raya from Shmuel from the pasuk? Rav is going to say kesev ki osmi yikara. Kesev lechatchila, when he says the word kesev in the pasuk lekvira udasa, is referring to only the kvira. When it says ki yiting, he's talking about that a person will deny in kesev, but really the amount was more. Then came what's the Raya? Because lichter achman chitin ish arayu kelim lishmer. Why do you have to say the word kesev? Kesev or kelim? Kelim. V'ana amina ma kelim shnayim av kolim shnayim. And I would know automatically. Kelim is plural, and anything else has to be 2, a minimum of 2. So what is it? Kesev? What do I need the extra word kesev? If you can't use it for the inyan of the tree itself, no, you in the kvira to tell you in the kvira it has to be 2 ksafim. Shmuel says no. Look, if the Torah wouldn't write kesev, I would have thought my kelim. What is kelim? Shnayim. Of course, Shnayim. You're right. Everything is Shnayim. I wouldn't say. Oh, so if it would said kelim, only kelim without kesev, I would have thought 2, but it doesn't have to be a davar chashuv. The kelim, it could be earthenware, it could be junk. Kamash malan, that has to be cheshve kelim. Okay, I think we can stop here.